All right, we're live. Welcome in to another episode of Betting the Pitch. I am your co-host, single host, whatever, the real underscore G Warner on Twitter. It is a crazy time in the soccer world, also in Major League Baseball that just kicked off yesterday. You got the Masters, so much going on. So thank you for joining for this. Unfortunately, so much going on that this is my first look at the Soccer Alliance. Going to do it live. And we'll see how this goes. Thank you for watching, whether you're on Zoom or whatever, wherever you're getting this. Thank you for paying attention. I appreciate it. And we're gonna keep trying to grow this thing. This is episode 91 of Betting the Pitch. And hopefully we'll have 91 more. Without further ado, going to Premier League, we have Newcastle hosting Wolves today on Friday. Using all lines current as of Bet Online as of 10 a.m. Central Time on the 8th of February. Wow, 8th of April. Newcastle, quarter goal favorite at home to Wolves, which is saying something because Wolves have not been good for a while. But Newcastle as a favorite does not make a lot of sense to me. Got embarrassed last time out against Tottenham despite a really nice free kick goal from Fabian Schär and also really nice uniforms, I got to say. Don't know if those were Saudi inspired, but we'll leave probably that. And I probably shouldn't have even said that. Wolves getting a quarters of interest to me. They're certainly not performing like they were earlier in the year, not getting the points from not scoring any goals. So I've reverted to the mean, but ultimately they play defense. Newcastle, I'm not sure that they do, nor do I believe that Newcastle can score, nor does Chris Wood really seem that intimidating to me. So I'm interested in Wolves getting a quarter. Moving to Saturday, Everton hosting Manchester United. Currently, Everton a 3/4 goal underdog at home. With all the juice, maybe this falls to a half. But I feel like with the way Manchester United gets bet, no matter how good or bad they are, I can't imagine that happens, especially considering Everton's dire circumstances, hanging right near relegation. Huge, huge club. Heard it would be the largest relegation in Premier League history. We'll see. We'll see if it comes to fruition. But Everton have had big problems for a while. Carlo Ancelotti basically made them the best defensive team he could. Played 4 center backs last year. I don't know what the heck Rafa Benitez did, but Frank Lampard trying to score goals, they can't do that. And I don't know, it looks really bad. United, on the other hand, are no spring chicken either. They look awful, but they didn't play midweek. They have a deeper squad. They're going to run at Everton the whole time, and I would imagine that Manchester United are deserving favorite here, and so I will not be touching this one. Moving to Arsenal and Brighton, Saturday 9 a.m. here in Dallas, and Arsenal is a 3/4 goal favorite. Currently, all the juice on Bet Online. Maybe this climbs to 1 at 1. Maybe I look to Brighton. Arsenal coming off a pretty bad loss at Crystal Palace. Not a lot of travel involved, not a lot of those things, but Brighton probably the worst draw, missing a penalty, skying one, Neil Maupay over the bar, and really being able to not to score against Norwich at home is pretty embarrassing. Now they go to Arsenal, where they're going to get put under a ton of pressure, have to deal with Arsenal's speed, athletes, all those sort of things. That's not great. Until this hits 1, I'm not interested in Brighton, and even then, I probably want to stay away because they can't score goals, and Arsenal probably can get 2. Southampton then hosting Chelsea, getting half a goal at home. Wow, Chelsea, what a performance! Just giving away the Brentford match to then go do what they did or what they let Karim Benzema do to them in midweek in Champions League. I feel like it's really tough to kind of gauge how Chelsea's going to approach this one because Tuchel's basically said that the Champions League match that they're out, which they're still going to Madrid. So, I mean, they're going to be at the Bernabeu on Wednesday. So they're definitely not giving up and throwing in the towel completely. But I think this was supposed to be a match that they weren't going to care about because they were going to put all their eggs into holding on to a lead that they got in the first leg against Real Madrid. That didn't happen. But Southampton, on the other hand, have goal-scoring problems, but have been pretty competitive at home, are better, I think, than they put out some really good performances, certainly very inconsistent. And you'll see that with a team that doesn't have a lot of money and really kind of rides what they have in their starting 11, and how good they play is how good they do. And I got to say, though, Chelsea, very unlikely to care about this matchup because they are going to try to, I guess, rearrange or overturn or reverse their deficit from the Real Madrid 3-1 loss. And luckily, away goals don't matter. So they're still not dead, but they're looking pretty close to dead in Champions League. So from where I sit, I think Chelsea are still going to take this one this match. I mean, they're drifting towards the fourth and fifth spot potentially in the Premier League. I don't know that the teams below them are good enough, but Southampton getting half of a goal seems very worth it to me, even though Chelsea might win this one in a bounce back effort. I just don't really see it. They've got so many things swirling around that club with Tuchel, who looks like he might be starting to want his way out. You got the Abramovich and the team being sold, all that sort of stuff is not good. And it seems like the drama off the pitch really seems to matter in this sport more than any other. Watford then hosting Leeds, currently a pick 'em. Not much for me to do there as an underdog player, but Leeds have been playing a lot better. Was hoping to get them as a dog, but probably was not realistic. Watford don't score, so why would they be a favorite? Leeds on the road as a road favorite doesn't make a lot of sense, so Pickham's probably right. Aston Villa then hosting Tottenham in the last match on Saturday. And Villa are a quarter goal underdog at home. And they probably should be because they haven't played well for a long time. Came in, Steven Gerrard got the new manager bounce. They were playing really well. Looked like everything was working. They spent a ton of money, and then they've done very little since then. A lot of people are out of form, not playing well. Tyrone Mings is a walk-in mistake at this point, which probably makes anybody in the World Cup nervous if you root for the three Lions of England. Tottenham, on the other hand, they're so hard to predict. I mean, they're all over the place, but they do have Kulusevski, who's been great, and then Son and Kane are playing so well that I don't think I'm, even as a road favorite or a home underdog for Aston Villa, I don't think I'm getting in the way of that one. Brentford then West Ham on Sunday. Brentford the host. They are a pick'em, which is saying something based on the differences in the quality of these two sides. One's in Europe. One was basically barely hanging on to the league to just not get relegated or pulled into the relegation battle. But Brentford has been getting some results lately. Christian Eriksen has helped a lot since he signed. So that's pretty cool, especially good story, but we're not about romance here. So West Ham had to play midweek, took a red card at the end of the first half. Creswell, totally deserved, but got sent off, and then took a lead somehow and then held on for dear life. Olympique Lyonnais equalized, and then they held on for dear life longer. But West Ham got the job done, I guess, being level heading to Lyon, Eastern France, with considering they had a red card for an entire second half. But Brentford have been playing better. Pick them, not much for me to do here. I'd like Brentford if they were an underdog because I think West Ham is their eyes are focused on Europa League, but not sure that there's enough for me on Brentford here at Pick'em. Norwich then hosting Burnley. Currently, Burnley, the road favorite, though it's a pick'em. They have all the juice right now. Maybe this climbs to a quarter. And Burnley coming off a midweek match, being a road favorite, doesn't really seem appetizing to me. So I would lean Norwich at that number. We'll wait till it gets there. Hopefully it never does, because I don't know if I ever want to back Norwich again, especially in this type of situation. But at home, needing points, Burnley with a lot of pressure to try to escape the relegation zone. Not really a reliable offense, coming back from the dead against Everton to equalize and then win the match late. I feel like there's a lot pointed to Norwich here, but we'll wait till that quarter pops up. And then we're still not the biggest one of the weekend. Leicester then hosting Crystal Palace. Currently Leicester a quarter goal favorite. All the juice on Crystal Palace on the road, thanks to probably a really good performance against Arsenal on Monday night where they blasted them. But Crystal Palace has not been scoring on the road at all. And that's something to certainly consider, though they were playing a lot better. I feel like they found a lineup that doesn't have their dinosaurs in it, or their and when they don't give ridiculous penalties late, maybe they're a little bit better than they probably have been or were earlier in the year. Leicester is getting healthy. They definitely have Conference League on their mind, though. Have been putting out big lineups for that one. So, maybe this is Crystal Palace playing one match a week that catches Leicester in a little bit of a soft spot. As they're still trying to fight to do whatever you call it in Europe. And Palace off a good performance, surely confidence should be high, pretty confident and a legs advantage. So getting a quarter seems interesting to me, to say the least. And then the big one, the big daddy of them all, Manchester City, a half a goal favorite at home to Liverpool. And that's higher than I made it, even though all the juice on Liverpool right now suggests maybe this falls to a quarter. Liverpool had better success in midweek and are in better shape for advancing, having a 3-1 victory against Benfica, though certainly weaker competition than Man City hosting Atleti. So Man City gets to stay home, so that's nice. But I still feel like Liverpool are the team of the momentum. They're the form side. Man City's been looking over their shoulder and really threw up a 13-point lead I know that Liverpool had some games in hand, but that's pretty bad. Liverpool, I feel like, are the better side right now. I don't know that Man City's really great defense is going to be as great against Liverpool, because I think Liverpool have shown that they can exploit that type of thing. And I'm pretty interested in a half of a goal. Don't want to lose that, looking like we might, based on where the juice is now. But going to City and drawing is probably also good enough for City, because then they know if they just win out that they can't be caught. That's still a long way to go to do that. Liverpool probably are pushing for a victory here, which means they might overextend. But I also think that they see themselves as going on the road, getting a point here at the Etihad, as that being good enough for them, or at least a good result. So it might be more cagey than you'd think, though Liverpool certainly want to win this match on the road. I don't really worry about the crowd being that big of a factor, because Man City's not going to be holding on, or likely won't be holding on defensively, because they always play offense. So I'm interested in Liverpool. I got to say, it's probably not the sharpest side to think of, especially at that inflated price, but I'm not really a believer in Man City right now. Sevilla then hosting Granada as we move to La Liga. That is a Friday match. Sevilla currently a 1-goal favorite with all the juice, likely climbing to 1.25. Granada with one of the crazier matches with like 11 minutes of stoppage time, if I remember correctly, coming back to get a 2-2 draw with Rayo, who had, I think, 14 yellow cards or something ridiculous, and a second yellow. But Granada is fighting to stay in the league. It's not looking great for them. Their defense isn't very good. Their offense is not the same as it's been in past years. Sevilla have not been playing well, though. I just don't know that I want to go into the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, as I've been there earlier this year. Should be a pretty good atmosphere for a Sevilla side that are looking to bounce back from a tough loss to Barcelona, where they are very competitive. Could have won that match for sure, I think. Didn't, and lost. And they're trying to hang on to their Champions League spot, which looked very safe a little while ago. But Barcelona and Atleti have been making a charge. I just don't know that Granada are going to be good enough for me to want to hang around. They need wins. They need points. Probably a draw is good enough for them. But at 1-0 late, they're throwing everything forward, and that sounds like Sevilla 2-0. Moving to Saturday, Cadiz hosting Betis. Currently, Cadiz a quarter-goal underdog at home. Betis has been not great since they had a huge run of fixtures, and they're basically all they have left now is the Copa del Rey. But that's good for them, because they're going to be trying to get their form together so they can play really well and take that against Valencia. Meanwhile, Cadiz is trying to fight relegation. I do like the manager change, but still they are a bad team that only getting a quarter at home from a team that can score goals looks really scary to me. Mallorca then hosting Atletico Madrid. Currently Mallorca a half-a-goal underdog. And that seems to be really heavy on the Atleti, are going to be very tired or rotating or saving their guys for a big matchup with Man City coming up midweek. I don't know if I really agree with that. It seems really short to me. Maybe this is the market believing in Mallorca. I don't know why you would, because they've been playing so poorly for so long now. I don't know. Atleti have been getting a lot of results that I'm not sure they deserve. The 1-0 with no shots on the entire match at the Etihad against Man City, unimpressive, but it'll be a different game here. I'm not sure Mallorca getting a half is going to be enough. Villarreal then hosting Athletic Club. Villarreal a quarter-goal favorite at home, and I'm very interested in Athletic Club here. Villarreal with a kind of shock victory against Bayern midweek was huge. Athletic Club are the perfect counter and score on you, and that's going to be the exact situation here. Villarreal are a great team. I really like them, especially as an underdog. Don't really like them as much as a favorite, especially not against the ultimate underdog in La Liga. And Villarreal is looking ahead and probably rotating quite a bit for Bayern, trying to make sure that they can keep going in this Champions League run, which is historic for this club. So very interested in Athletic Club, as there's probably not going to be a very full lineup for Villarreal, and they might, even if they do have guys in there that matter, because they haven't been doing very well in La Liga, it probably doesn't matter to them. They're going to be substituted pretty quickly. A lot of on the 60-minute mark, I would expect, where Athletic Club is what they're going for. So very interested there. Real Madrid then hosting Getafe. Currently Real Madrid a 1.25 goal favorite. Definitely looking ahead to Chelsea, but in really good shape, and probably you're just going to try to not get guys hurt. It is a Madrid derby, I guess you could say that, but not the most premier of those choices. Getafe have been playing good defense ever since the new manager came in, but goal scoring hasn't really been there. And Madrid, if they get 3 penalties, will at least score 2 of them. And Getafe, you really kind of got to hope they're going to score, and I'm not sure. Moving to Sunday, Osasuna hosting Alaves. Currently, Alaves a half a goal road underdog right now. Osasuna goal scoring, I don't know where it comes from. Really lucky fluke goals or penalties, which are very rare because they don't have a lot of the ball. They probably should here against Alaves, who are really fighting for their lives and have no real idea what to do. Mendilibar was like the mid-year hires that all these Spanish clubs do seem to be like, some of them work very well, I'll admit, but some of them are really bad and seemed really bad from the beginning and should have been changed when like the only good goal scorer on Alaves keeps getting substituted mid second half, like when he's the only one that could score. It's like ridiculous to me. But Osasuna, from where I'm coming from, they are not a worthy favorite, a team I definitely want to play against at home. They played very well on the road considering, but they've been bad at home. So I like Alaves here, but I really hope I don't play this on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. local time. Espanyol then hosting Celta de Vigo, currently a pick'em, which seems really, 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 really nice to Espanyol, considering how they've played. Celta de Vigo can score goals. I'm not sure Espanyol can. Wow, just pronouncing everything like I'm from Europe now. Not a lot for me to hear at Pick'em, but would like Celta de Vigo if some reason Espanyol keeps getting bet. Elche then hosting Sociedad, Real Sociedad. Elche is a half a goal underdog at home with all the juice. Maybe this falls to a quarter, and that would make me less and less interested. Though I feel like Elche, I've not timed them very well this year. They've played better. They look like they're very safe to stay in the league. They deserve it. They played well, but every time I back them, they seem to have some brutal losses. So they didn't play well last weekend and covered late. So maybe the tide's turning, the milk's turning, whatever. I don't know. Sociedad missing a lot of guys. Oyarzabal being out for the year is a big deal. But I just don't really like them as a favorite, road favorite, especially. I feel like they're kind of weak and they're not really the side that a lot of people thought they were entering the year. They start every year hot and then fall apart despite having plenty of squad depth. I don't really understand that. And I kind of looked at Imanol Alguacil as it being his problem. So I guess lean Elche currently at the half. We'll see where this juice goes, number goes. Falls to a quarter. I mean, I guess I still like the home dog anyway. Levante then hosting Barcelona. Currently, Levante, a 1.25 goal underdog at home. Barcelona killing everybody. Had a tough one midweek in the Europa League, but ended up getting a draw, a road point in Frankfurt, and that was a big deal for them. But I got to say, I don't know what Barcelona, I mean, they're going to be on the front foot like they do always. Levante's defense has been really problematic, though they've been playing better lately. I just don't know that their defense is good enough to stop Barcelona because no one's is at this point, really. And once that first goal goes in, it's probably going to be Barcelona's, and then the second goal will probably be much easier for Barcelona as well. And I don't know if I want to back Levante where a 1-goal loss will only pay me half a bet. I think I want more than that. And maybe it gets there because Barcelona does get bet every time they play. Moving to Monday, Rayo Vallecano hosting Valencia. Currently, Rayo a quarter-goal favorite at home, which is saying something because they have been playing really poorly. Squandered a 2-0 lead thanks to a silly 2 yellow cards in 4 minutes. Their manager got sent off for 2 yellow cards. They got a million yellow cards. The trainers got yellow cards running on the pitch. Hilarious, but I mean, there's a league arrest for you. Though I don't really fault Hernandez or whoever it was as much as you'd think, because I usually just really dislike them, detest them even. But Valencia, they have their eyes on Copa del Rey, but that's not coming for a little while. Rayo have been really good at home first half of the year because they played all the bad teams at home. They've been trending towards relegation. Should have had 3 points at Granada, but somehow it was a crazy game. If you ever want to watch one, that's one probably to watch. And Valencia getting a quarter as a better side seems very much of interest to me. Moving to Serie A and Italy. So we have Empoli hosting Spezia. This is a Saturday match. Empoli currently a half a goal favorite. All the juice on Spezia on the road. It's a bigger number than I was expecting. Spezia and Empoli both want to play on the front foot. Both defenses are not great. And so that makes a half a goal seem less important, though a draw wins you a full bet. So that's of interest to me on Spezia, though. Empoli are good and score goals. So that's pretty good for a home favorite. Inter Milan then hosting Verona. Currently Inter a 1.5 goal favorite. I mean, miraculous victory at Juve last weekend. Basically because a forward tried to play defense in the box. Morata should have just stayed away, but pretty disappointing performance, I think, overall from Inter. They haven't been scoring goals for months now. Got a really fortunate win there. and I'd like to still bet against them. Verona are going to play a very front-footed attacking type of style, which will help Inter, I got to say, and will put them in a position to score goals, which I would much prefer someone that's playing defensively. But then again, Sassuolo did beat Inter handily a few weeks ago now, I think before the international break. And Verona can score goals. So that back door is always open. If they took a lead, they're probably going to cover 1.5. I mean, we'll see, but stranger things have happened. But I do like Verona getting a goal and a half. It's a huge number that Inter really shouldn't be laying at this point. Cagliari then hosting Juve. Currently, Cagliari a 1-goal underdog at home with all the juice and more of it. Maybe this falls to 3/4, but I feel like Juve generally gets bet, so it probably sticks here. Juve, we'll see, because their offense has not been great. Vlahovic is really scary. Cagliari don't really score, though, so that's a big issue. I mean, 1-0 is a very likely scoreline, I think, here, especially Juve on the road, setting up shop like Allegri seems to do every time they take an early lead. So that one is very important. 3/4, I will probably skip. At +1, I will keep looking at Cagliari until kickoff. Moving to Sunday, Genoa hosting Lazio. Currently, Genoa are a half-a-goal underdog at home. Lazio can score goals. Genoa can't. Genoa is not playing well, fighting relegation. Lazio not flying, but they're certainly scoring. And the defense, I don't know if they're really going to get tested by Genoa. So the home dog only getting a half. I mean, I don't know how much bigger you can make it, but it's probably not enough for me. Napoli then hosting Fiorentina. Currently, Napoli a 3/4 goal favorite at home, which is saying something. I mean, they had a really good win at Atalanta last weekend, but still aren't the same team really to me. We'll see about the status of Osimhen. If he's back, that's a big, big deal for their offense because he stretches the pitch more than anyone almost in this league, maybe in the world. Sad that he won't be in the World Cup, but whatever. Fiorentina getting 3/4. They've been getting a lot of respect really ever since selling Vlahovic, which is bizarre to me. Krzysztof Piatek has been pretty good, but this time, finally, it feels like they're not getting a lot of respect here. So I'm interested in 3/4. It seems a little bigger than I'd make it. But with almost all the juice, maybe it falls to half. I think it probably hangs here. At +1, I'm probably playing Fiorentina, but I'm not sure it gets there. Sassuolo then hosting Atalanta. Currently, Sassuolo a 1/4 goal underdog at home. All the juice on Atalanta on the road. Sassuolo have been playing really well. Atalanta, I mean, gave it all they had and could have beaten RB Leipzig, but took the lead and then hit the post, I think, and then conceded an equalizer, then hit the post again, or had a lot of chances. But that's tough going to Eastern Germany, coming back to Italy, visiting, then going on the road to Sassuolo. Not everything is too far apart, but I got to say Sassuolo have been playing pretty well. Did not have a good performance last weekend, but got a miraculous cover at the end in stoppage time, I think. It was like the first time it's ever happened to me twice in the same weekend. Always goes the other way, and of course it did in France, but whatever. Sassuolo as a home dog is of interest to me, especially if this climbs to a half. I don't think I will be able to resist at that point because Atalanta still have RB Leipzig at home midweek that they're probably focused on because they're really not doing much in the league this year. Venezia then hosting Udinese. Currently, Venezia a 1/4 goal underdog at home, and they look like they are out of energy, out of gas, falling into relegation, which is unfortunate. But they were good to us earlier in the year if you were following along. Udinese, on the other hand, have been scoring goals. Blasted Cagliari or Genoa, whoever they played last. And I was leaning the other way, so I'm glad I didn't play that one. Udinese's defense seems to be getting better, but if they score 5 goals in a match, they're going to cover, especially against Venezia, who probably can only get 1. Roma then hosting Salernitana. Currently, Roma a 1.5 goal favorite. Salernitana, worst team in the league. Hard to really want to play them against the Roma side that can score. Torino then hosting AC Milan. Currently, Torino a 1/2 goal underdog at home. Milan didn't do much offensively, is a huge favorite at Bologna or at home against Bologna on Monday, and they have that in them, but they've been a lot better on the road. Not getting 1 is short for me, especially considering how poorly Torino have been playing recently. Juric looks like he's in hot water again, like he is every year, despite starting the year well and on the front foot. They just don't have enough goals in the team. But getting a half at home, especially after being road favorites in, I think, both of their previous 2 matches, I'm interested in Torino, certainly as a home underdog. But Milan is great and are great, and they're going to have a lot of chances against Torino, who are going to be pushing up the field trying to win. Moving to Monday, Bologna hosting Sampdoria. Currently, Bologna a 1/4 goal favorite with all the juice, maybe climbing to a half. At a half, I'm a little bit interested in Sampdoria, though I really don't like them. And Would love to not bet their matches ever because I don't like them and have not done well backing them at all. Moving to Bundesliga on Friday, we have Stuttgart hosting Borussia Dortmund. Currently, Stuttgart a half a goal underdog at home. They're fighting relegation. They've been getting some results, kind of lucky and then unlucky this past weekend. The weekend before that, very lucky to get a win. Dortmund coming off a embarrassing loss to the team they usually own in Leipzig. And it was also at home in front of their 80,000 or whatever fans with 100% capacity back in Germany. That was pretty bad. Expect to bounce back here, but Dortmund's defense is so bad that how much can you bounce back? I mean, Haaland's getting healthier every match that he plays. Certainly also worried about his future and where he's going next, but I don't think he's given up by any means. Stuttgart, I mean, if this was +1, I'd play it. I think at a half, I just don't know if there's enough because Stuttgart and Dortmund have such different offenses. Stuttgart is so hard for them to score. Tomasz has been good. They're a new addition. Kalajic hasn't done anything, but is always a threat at like 6'7" in the box and against any of Dortmund's defenders who are not that tall and not good anyway. That's an opportunity. I don't know. I mean, if you want action, Stuttgart is perfectly fine to play. I'm just not sure that that's a great rate of return type of decision for long term, and hopefully that will keep me away. Moving to Saturday, Cologne hosting Mainz. Currently, Cologne a quarter goal favorite at home with all the juice on Mainz on the road, actually, which is saying something because Mainz had to play midweek, and so this will be a third match, and Cologne will play their second and at home in front of a big crowd. I don't know if that is a good situation for Mainz, though they've really taken the first halves off of the last two matches. They played really well, played really hard in second halves, and played a lot better, but had been dealing with deficits, and that's not great for them. In terms of both teams staying in the league, Cologne probably have a European ambition in them. Home crowd, a lot of things. I don't know, especially if it's falls to pick them. It'd be very easy for me to skip. At the quarter, I do like Mainz, but I'm not sure I want to play it. Bayern München then hosting Augsburg, giving 2.5 goals. Return leg or reverse fixture from Augsburg, who won at home the first time they played on a Friday night, I believe. Shock result. I think before I'd watched the match, saw that got spoiled on the result and was like, wow, how did that happen? Bayern, though, have a lot of their eyes on, because they're going to win the Scudetto. That's pretty much clinched, as it was a long time ago. It's probably some bet we should make every year. Remind me, whoever's listening next year. But Augsburg have been playing better. I don't know. I mean, 2.5 goals is huge, especially with Bayern worried about Villarreal midweek. I just don't know if Augsburg, I mean, once the barrage of goals from Bayern at home, they seem to come, and no matter what Augsburg does or do. Greuther Fürth then hosting Gladbach, getting 3/4 of a goal. They are not a competitive team in the Bundesliga, so I will not be betting them, though Borussia Mönchengladbach have plenty of problems. Wolfsburg then hosting Arminia Bielefeld. Wolfsburg a 3/4 goal favorite at home with all the juice. I'm hoping this climbs to 1 because Wolfsburg's offense is not good enough. Bielefeld's offense is not good either. 0-0 written all over this one, maybe 1-0, which so that one is very, very crucial. Might even play that before I see lineups. Bielefeld is in a relegation battle, fighting to stay in the league. They are familiar with that, though. That's what they've been doing since they came up last season. Or they did the last season here. This is their second year in a row, I believe, if I'm counting correctly. They know that's who they are. They don't have a lot of offense, but believe it or not, like Wimmer is a good attacking wing. They have more than I think a lot of people give them credit for, and that's why I seem to bet them every week. To mixed results, but I think overall has been profitable this season. Wolfsburg, I don't think are very good. Don't like their manager. Don't like who they are. Don't like the disappointment they've been this season. Spent all the money that they spent in both transfer windows, really, or the loans they took on, et cetera, et cetera. Let's get to 1, Arminia. Please, please, please. If it doesn't, I'm still interested in 3/4, though, I got to say. And losing half of a bet on a 1-0 loss doesn't seem so bad to me because 0-0 is very, very possible in my estimation. Hertha then hosting Union in the Berlin derby. Hertha currently pick 'em, or it's pick 'em both ways, I guess. More juice on Union because they've been playing better. They've not been playing well, and they're losing all their players, but Hertha look like they're going to drop, despite having all the resources that Union specifically do not have. Hertha is a joke, basically. Unfortunately, it's a sad story because you want the big clubs that have the money to do stuff because the Bundesliga doesn't really have much money. But Man, I don't know. Not much for me to do here. Pick 'em. Moving to Sunday, Bochum hosting Bayer Leverkusen. Currently, Bochum a 3/4 goal underdog with all the juice. So maybe this falls to a half. It seems a little cheap to me. Honestly, Leverkusen can score. Schick came back to the bench last week. They are certainly the attackers. Bochum are going to have that big crowd behind them at home, though, which, I mean, has seen them beat Bayern Munich and better teams. But clearly that one is way better because they're the best in the league. But 3/4 of a goal at home on Bochum with a big home crowd behind them, I will always lean that way. So we'll move on from there. Frankfurt hosting Freiburg. Currently, Frankfurt a 1/4 goal favorite at home, but all the juice on Freiburg on the road. And that speaks to Frankfurt playing Barcelona midweek, throwing all their eggs in that basket. And I think also doing the same when they play them at Barcelona on Thursday of this week. Freiburg, meanwhile, they just keep doing what they're doing. Played Bayern really tough last week, and then it kind of got ugly and got away from them late. But I think it provides some additional value on them this week. And I think they see themselves going to Frankfurt and really giving a great effort. Draw doesn't seem unlikely to me, though it only pays half a bet. That's still of interest to me at this point. Leipzig then hosting Hoffenheim. Currently, Leipzig a 1-goal favorite with all the juice. Leipzig coming off Atalanta midweek, off the big win against Borussia Dortmund. Maybe this is a lull here. Maybe they do some rotation. They are very deep, which is good. But having to win by a goal is saying something. Hoffenheim really on a kind of a downtick in form. Had been playing pretty poorly, then figured that they might go home and play really well. Lost to Bochum and fell behind twice, essentially. I don't know how I feel about Hoffenheim, because on the road they really struggle, but getting a full goal of insurance is a big number, and it looks like it's climbing. Leipzig's not in a great emotional or fatigue type of situation. Hoffenheim, we know they can score. For some reason at home, it's way different. I don't know why that is, and if I could, I probably would be a better soccer handicapper. But getting that +1 is still definitely of interest to me. As we move to France to wrap up today's episode, Lorient hosting Saint-Etienne. Currently, Lorient a 1/4 goal favorite. It's a Friday match. And that's saying something. This is a big relegation battle. These two teams are direct rivals, 6-pointer. A lot of nerves, a lot of stress. And I like it, Saint-Etienne, because they are the more established club. I mean, awful result last weekend against Marseille after taking a very fortunate lead to then basically throw up on themselves. Bad penalty, bad own goal, embarrassing own goal, actually. One of the nicest finishes possible, except the part that it was in their own net. But this is a match where a draw is probably sufficient for the road team, whereas the home team is going to be pushing the whole time. And I don't really love Lorient this year. I feel like their defense has taken a huge step back despite having a lot of the same players, which is surprising. I like Saint-Etienne getting a 1/4. Reims then hosting Rennes. Currently, Reims a 3/4 goal underdog at home. And, Reims have been great to me. I mean, they were in it till the end, despite having 10 men for like 50 minutes on the road at Troyes last weekend. Late goal, kind of a fluke. But, it happens. They've been so good to me. So I don't know. I'm not sure I can quit on that one. Rennes, though, unfortunately, when you talk about Rennes, they're awesome. They're playing so well. They're on the front foot. They're going to score goals. I feel like Reims are never going to get to +1, which is probably what I need to play here confidently. I do think Reims will bounce back, but Rennes are so good, and they've really destroyed me as a favorite, even a road favorite this year. So I'm probably going to have to think about this one a lot before playing on Saturday. Clermont Foot then hosting PSG, getting 1.5 goals. PSG, I mean, who knows what they're all about at this point. Clermont Foot like to play on that proverbial front foot. But that's going to give PSG a lot of chances. I don't know. That's probably one I should avoid, though. I would like to bet against PSG as much as possible, because I don't think they care, and they're so far ahead in the league that doesn't really matter. Monaco, a 1.5 goal favorite on Sunday morning to Troyes. Troyes are coming off that big win, trying to fight out of relegation. This is a match that Monaco should win, but they haven't done that all year, really. Should win handily, but nothing's easy for them. So giving a 1.5 goals, I lean the dog. Bordeaux hosting Metz. Currently, Bordeaux a 0.5 goal favorite at home, which is saying something for Bordeaux, considering how many goals they allow. They're trying to fight their way out of relegation. So are Metz. The difference is Metz have no money and have sold all their good players, so it makes sense that they might go down. Bordeaux, on the other hand, they're trying to hang around with no finances and just doing all the loan deals they can to fill out a roster. Like Metz getting a half, though, because I don't know that Bordeaux deserves to lay a half to anybody. Angers then hosting Lille. Currently, Angers a home underdog of 1/4 goals. Lille not playing great, really. Road favorite doesn't really fit them. But Angers have shown that they have no money and they're trying to sell their players, including moving on from their goalkeeper mid-year, with putting in a guy that has no clue what he's doing, and I think got benched. And so that's a big issue for me against a team like Lille, who, I mean, are good and have talented players. Brest then hosting Nantes, currently a pick'em. Brest with all the juice right now at home. Not a lot for me to do here. If this climbs to a 1/4 goal favorite, I'm interested in Nantes because they played really well this year. I think they're better, and Brest as a favorite is really not a situation that you want to back as a better, really, or you want to look to fade that. But I don't know if Brest will get there, even though it looks like it might trend that way now. Lens then hosting Nice. Currently, Lens a 1/4 goal favorite at home, like Nice, but they haven't been playing well. It's basically liking Christophe Galtier, their manager, though he hasn't really been getting the returns that I think a lot of people expected. They're hanging around Champions League places-ish, European places for sure, but not playing great. And Lens are going to be on the front foot trying to score. I do think that will give Nice some counter-attacking opportunities, though. So, I mean, what a surprise. I like Christophe Galtier as an underdog. Strasbourg then hosting Lyon, currently a pick'em with all the juice on Strasbourg. Lyon coming off a tough match in England. Probably disappointed that they only merged with a stalemate 1-1, but ultimately that puts everything on their match in the east of France. So that's good for them. Strasbourg are a good team, though. And we'll see if this number climbs Lyon to a 1/4. They're not doing well in the league. I don't know, really. I think they're more focused on the Europa League because if they win that, they can get Champions League, which is a big deal for them financially, big windfall. So I'm a little bit worried about what Lyon's going to actually put out there in a lineup. But if it moves to a 1/4 and they're playing their studs, or, I mean, they're very deep, so they have a lot of good players, but we'll see what happens. I'm interested in Lyon as the underdog. Because Strasbourg, I just don't think have been playing as well as they did earlier in the year. And then Marseille-Montpellier to wrap this episode up. Marseille is a 1-goal favorite, which is a big number. Had to play Conference League on Thursday. They've been kind of throwing it in me, unfortunately. Not really playing well, but still covering the spreads no matter when I bet against them. Montpellier, on the other hand, great offense. Haven't been getting good results, though. Sold off a lot of their players, but they had plenty of offense to really back that up. Defense has been an issue. Getting that full goal, though, is a good number. Though Marseille at home, that big crowd behind them can sometimes go 1, 2, 3 and score a bunch of goals. Whether they're deserved or not, I'm not sure. But I'm leaning Montpellier at getting that full goal of insurance. It looks like that'll stick around until Sunday afternoon, and we'll see how the weekend goes. And maybe I'll be in the mood to gamble. Not that I ever am, but maybe I will be on that one. And I think that will wrap up today's episode. Again, I'm the real_G Warner on Twitter. Feel free to hit me up on there if you have any questions, or wherever you're watching this. I'm trying to get this on Apple Podcasts. We'll see if I have the technology to do that. I hope I do. But thanks for watching on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're watching. Trying to build this as much as I can. So feel free to tell your friends, subscribe, do all those sort of things. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.